folks, it is another Advent of Code Day. Let's go ahead and get this started. I believe that we now have 7 puzzles left, so we'll see how these go. It's also the first weekend, or at least the last weekend. So we'll see whether Eric has dreamed up something fiendish for us or not. So right now there's only about 2 minutes until the puzzle unlocks. I was a little late today, so yeah, it's gonna take the time and really quickly get this swapped over. I am tired. It has been a very long week. But I am now actually done with work, which I'm pretty excited about. I'm done with work until January, so that should be pretty good. I hope that everyone else is getting ready to have a good weekend. I'm personally going to spend most of tomorrow sleeping, because that is how every weekend goes for me. But hopefully I'll be awake in time for Advent Code tomorrow. It should be a exciting experience. Okie doke. Okay, terminals are ready. My key light is giving me a little bit of a headache today because I'm having a slightly light-sensitive headache. The things that we streamers do for you. Good lighting versus head slightly hurting. Such a conundrum, I swear. All right. Okay, I think we are pretty much ready to await the puzzle unlock. Yeah, everyone has that electric kettle. It is the one recommended by Wirecutter, and therefore everyone has a copy of it. The instant the Wirecutter recommends something, it instantly becomes incredibly popular. Day 1216. I'm not even going to bother reading that. Maybe time is flying. It's 2012 or 2020 has been a heck of a year. All right, day 19. We landed in an airport. Oh, this is exactly like building a parser like yesterday. Okay. The whole message must match. Okay. That's totally reasonable. All right, do I have a set of inputs? Yes. And do I have... You know what the hilarious way to solve this would be? Hilarious way to solve this would literally be constructing regexes and then asking whether the regexes match, but all right, we're not going to do that. Whoa, I accidentally turned the caps lock on. All right, how should I do this? Yeah, to be fair, converting it to regexes would be an easy way, but I'm probably not going to do it. Does the bar mean 1, 3, or 3, 1? A bar can only appear once. It looks okay. That's fair enough. Let me look at my string parsing library and we'll go from there. Yeah, no, it's literally Redux bar. I just didn't know whether it was like whether it fully associated or what it did. What am I looking for? I'm looking at index. I haven't even thought about the data structure I'm using here. I guess I will do it this way. These at the moment are either a exact match on a character, or it's a list of 2 things. Okay. Is there a rule 34? Okay. Yes. Yes. There are things called rule 34. Awesome. A9 points out that I do like to bash structures. It's true. See, that's going to be starting from there, dilemma plus 2. All right, how do I want to do this? All right. Okay, something like that should do. And then we need over here that. Okay, this key light is giving me a headache. I appreciate you all dearly, but not enough to give myself a headache. I'm turning that off. All right. What happens if this is a quote instead? Also, can something be... Okay, there's 99 is just A, 36 is always B. Okay. I wonder what part B is going to be here, but I guess we'll find out. All right. If S, all right, something like that. All right. At the end of this, we're going to need that. So the question is just, how do we populate, okay. I guess I could closed form generate a lot of these, but it's going to be annoying, isn't it? I guess I haven't really thought in that much depth about how I'm going to proceed once I have this parsed into data structures. Let's try that. Oh, that needs to actually be a int right here. Okay, let's just make sure that this parsing is doing what we expect. All right, so rule 0 consists of 811. Rule 1 consists of, oh, right. 113. What is rule 1? Hiding somewhere in here. 99. Okay, I didn't put the separator bars. This is why you always check your input, folks. that should be better now. Okay. That looks more reasonable. Okay. I think that makes sense. Now here's the question. Do we actually correctly parse the ones that start with the quote? So for instance, Rule 36 should say B. Rule 36 says, in fact, B and has an empty matching group. Okay. Perfect. So how do we approach this? We probably shouldn't construct every possible sequence. How many possible sequences are there? There are 123 of these groups. So if I were to expand all of these out, there could potentially be 2 to the 123 strings. That is a lot of strings. So that is not the correct approach. Okay. So instead, what we need to do, let's construct something that will verify whether a rule matches first. So if the rule matches, then we need to Eric gave us a weekend puzzle. This is the first kind of real long weekend puzzle, I'd say. I wish my head were not hurting right now. How do we do this? It's also possible that multiple different sublengths will match. And there also is going to need to be some recursion here. So I guess the way that this works is we have to evaluate the first I see. Okay. So each rule, each subrule here, like this 8 here, we'll always be able to expand down and figure out what the first character is and see whether the first character matches. If the first character matches, then we're good. If not, then we're not good. Okay, that's how we do it. Okay. Let me just deal with this really fast. What are these called? Messages. just make sure this is correct. So this here needs to not just return a bool, this also needs to return the number of characters matched. Okay. What happens if multiple children can match at the same time? At least one list of severals must match. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. I do not like this. If my head were not already hurting, I would be super into this, but I'm starting to become a little bit worried. All right, I'm going to outline the skeleton of what I would do here, and then depending upon how I feel after doing that, I might need to end the stream early tonight because it turns out that having a migraine is not super conducive to writing great code. Actually, instead of operating on a rule, we're going to operate on a rule set. So what I think I need to do is all right, I think I understand this. I feel pretty happy with this. But what if this returns more than one possible value? Okay, I'm really not feeling well. I'm going to call it off for tonight. I'm really sorry. What I am intending to do here is build up a list of potential prefix lengths and then lop off the prefix length and then continue matching against the remainder. I think that's what I need to do, but I am feeling pretty severely unwell. So I will try to attack this maybe sometime tomorrow, depending on how I feel. Welcome back. This is going to hopefully be the continuation of my day 19 solve. I'm feeling so much better than last night. And I'll splice the two videos together for YouTube. It'll be fine. So, as I was falling asleep last night, I realized that there was a minor bug here. This needed that. Over here, thing I was struggling with was the potential for there to be multiple potential matches. So let's see this. So this has a potential to grab potentially one, potentially more messages, or yeah, all of these are potentially different lengths. Yep, that's correct. Okay. Cool. How do we handle this? I should probably also pull open the Twitch Stream Manager as well. Okay. Wonderful. So right. So we have the potential to for instance, the first element, so how does this work? So suppose I have 1 and 2, 3 and 4. I need to check 1 and 3 first. Oh, actually no. Inside the loop, I'm only dealing with one. Need to potential length of 1 as starting points to evaluate 2. All right. So let's see. How do we approach this? Cool. Wait. So I want to iterate through each first one And then I want to check the possibilities for the second one. In this case, we happen to know at the moment that there's only 1 then 2. There's not like a potential for 3, for 3 things in a prefix in a group. But I'm not entirely sure how to wrap my head around this logic here. So let's see, how do we approach this? Actually, genuinely not sure. I can express with my mouth words what I want to do, but I cannot make the code do what I want to do, which is a little frustrating. Well, let's just first do this, because I think... Alright. Let's just deal with this. We'll set match. So we want this to exactly match. Okay, I think this is the actual execution of the result finding. But we just need... Oh, wait, this could potentially return multiple values. Do it. This would be simpler written as a break, though. All right. So now back up to here. So I'm progressing in order. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, I understand how to make this logic work. Alright, this should do it. Okay, I'm feeling better about this. I haven't even seen part 2 Chico codes. I am, I haven't, I only spent like 20 minutes working on this last night, so. Alright, How do you spell the plural of matches? This is starting to look like gobbledygook in my head. What? What did you say, Ellie? Yeah. All right. So let's see, what have we here? All right. Right. Okay. Okay, I understand this. I understand how to make this work. Okay. Yeah, okay. Now we're cooking. All right. Which language are you writing in Chico codes? Actually, I'm pretty sure this would have worked originally. Pretty sure that just works fine as it is. All right. Cool. Pretty sure I have this under control here. Start assuming we're going to okay. 938. Oh, I have one too many friends. Oh. Okay. Um, 25. Oh, why doesn't that work? Oh, great. Okay. All right, that seems good enough. So now we've got our rules are correct here, but our messages are wrong. So oh, that's a continue, not a break. Sorry about that, y'all. Apparently my computer does really not like doing that, so we're going to make it not do that again. So we're going to feed it a much smaller input file to start with. So let's do it this way. feed it this, and then let's feed it a list of things that ought to match. And we're also going to run the run this program with nice. That way it doesn't compete with other things that are trying to do, streaming or giving me graphics. Let's not make it interfere with that. So day 19 go input file equals inputs day. Yes, this is the ARM machine. Currently, my AMD 64 machine that's next to me is lying in pieces because my Ryzen 5600X did not work, or my B550 motherboard is dead. What? Why is... Oh, duh. Alright, that's better. What is DLM? Oh, that should work, should it not? Wonder what's happening here. Oh. But I did. Oh, is there, This is highly confusing. Okay, what lines have I seen so far here? Oh, that's what happened. Okay, now that works. So I am convinced that that works. All right. So I found the problem. My machine is no longer crashing. So now let's see what happens here, because I'm very, very curious. So we're going to turn on debug mode really fast. And that way I can be a little bit more verbose with what I print out here. All right. So this is rule no. And then we're matching against S, and then okay. Right. Ah, I see. I see my issue. This here is incorrect because when we append I need to add these values together. That's my problem. Okay, I see. V plus M. In fact, I don't need to express it this way. The way that I can express it, honestly, is just, okay. All right, so now, in fact, all 8 of these match. We're good. All right, so now let's run it on our real input. And we get 213 that match. So let's paste that in over here. And that's correct. On to part 2. All right, let's just try the naive thing and see what happens. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So the only change that's made is that there's now potentially a loop, but I feel good about my ability to resolve this loop. So let's see this. So for part B, just need to put a flag, feature flag here. Okay. So over here, if part B, then rules 8 equals rule of where children equals to 42.8. I think that should do it. And rules 11 is 42.31, 42.11.31. Let's make sure I didn't break it. Okay, didn't break it. Let's run with part B logic. Where are my line 26? Oh. So now if it's too long, we need to crop. So that cannot possibly match then. All right, 235. Go ahead and paste that in. That's not correct, it's too low. Okay. So let's just clear that out. So we've got a more robust example here now. All right, so this thing reports for part 1 that it matches 3, which is correct. And this currently matches 6, but should match 12. Okay, so my thing has a minor bug, but I think it terminates, and like the algorithm is perfectly nice. The problem is just that it's, yeah. Length of S is less than, yeah, so if I'm going to run off the end, then I should terminate. Okay, so let's look at some of the debug output here. Oh, this needs to update rules 8 and 11 here, rather than rules... Did I actually do this correctly? Rules 8 and 11, 42, 42.8, 42.31, 42.11.31. That feels correct. Okay. What did I do wrong here? What caused the crash earlier? The crash earlier was caused either by running out of memory and ooming my system, or it was caused by excessive CPU consumption, which caused, for some reason, the graphics driver locks up if you stress the machine too hard. But for some reason, like, if we look at what we have running here, like, you can see that I'm running the machine, like, almost all out in general, because I actually, you know, I have a bunch of OBS threads running. I've got a bunch of Rosetta Baker Lab protein folding running, but for some reason it was running that program specifically that caused it to go very sad. Okay, so which of the 12 messages should work but do not work right now? So this one here should match but does not match. Okay. So let's check that rules 8 and 11 are written correctly. 42, 42.8, yep. And 42.31, 42.11.31. Okay, so the simplest thing that I can do to unit test this really quickly, yeah, that's correct. When I ran this code earlier, it without nice and with a bug in my code, it was not very happy with me. Okay. Let's just... I'm just going to check in my part A solution real fast. That way, in case this does break again, it'll be less problematic. Yeah, okay. So that looks fine. That was 213. Yep, okay. All right, so that's now pushed to the cloud in case you want to have a look at it and see what I did. So now let's work on part B. So 12 messages should match. Let's just run it this way really quick. Okay, so we need to make sure which ones should match. That one matches. That one's fine. The next one, this one ought to match but does not. This one's fine. This one ought to match but does not. Okay. So now we've got a little bit of guidance as to what is happening here. So somehow this is not working. I wish there were an explanation of why this one ought to match now. So start with potential matches as 0. We're asked to go off the end. Huh. Not entirely sure what's happening here. Okay, well, let's follow the execution trace of one of them. So we're looking for this one. Okay, so this matches rule 8 completely. Wait, why is this entire string matching? Okay, so rule 0 contains rule 8 followed by rule 11. So what this is saying is that I've got a good number of matches against that string of 5, 10, 15, and 20 that could all match. So why is rule 11 then not being evaluated starting 5 in and then 10 in and 15 in and 20 in? That's the question. So rule what does rule 11 get evaluated against? Okay, so rule 11 is getting evaluated a couple of times. Good, okay. So I should see 4 evaluations of rule 11, which I do. Ah, yeah. So rule 11 matches here and matches up there. So this should, right? Because this last bit here, the BAA, right? That bit there should match the beginning. And this bit here, rule 8 should match the end. Yeah, okay. So I just have a problem with my composition here, where rule 8 and rule 11 are both reporting the correct number, but rule 0 is failing to report the sum of them. Okay. So for that case, okay, so what we need to do is yeah, I'm pretty sure I understand what my bug is. Yeah, so the problem is the output of rule 8 is correct, the output of rule 11 is correct, but the output of rule 8 or rule 11 is not correct. Okay. All right, so let's debug only rule 8, rule 11, and rule not and so that should help me get to the bug of the bottom of this. Okay. So rule 8 matches fine. Rule 11 matches against the ending. Fine. Yep. So we should expect to see at the 5, 10, 15. So we should see 15 plus that. So we should see 15 and 20 go together and match, but we don't. Okay. All right, so let's take this here really quickly. I'm pretty sure I just have a very small typo that is causing this to fail because I can get the two predecessor rules to work. So I definitely picked the right algorithmic approach in that it's terminating, it's reasonably fast. It's just literally okay. Matches is that oh, this needs to be a continue. That's literally what it was. That's literally what it was. Now I'm mad. I'm actually a little mad here. Okay. Yes, now this works. Oh, foiled by the continue versus the break. That feels bad, man. That feels so bad. Okay. Yep, now 12 of them match. That's correct. We don't need debug. We're just going to run on here. 325. That's correct. Done. Okay. I can understand why people had problem with that if they did this with regexes, but I'm pretty happy with how I solved this. So let's recap what I did, how it worked. Is there a debug anymore? No, there's no need for the debug flag. So we'll check this in. And we'll push it up. So here's what this code does and why. So this code constructs a sequence of rules, and it literally tries to greedily match the rules, and if it fails to greedily match, then it says, hey, I didn't find a match. So what we're doing is we're finding the possible number of characters that should be chomped off of each rule, and then we chomp those number of potential prefixes and then move on to the second part of each rule, and so forth, and either it matches or it doesn't, and if we run over the end of the string, we say, no, sorry, I didn't find a match. And at the end, we're just checking to see, hey, how many of these things have a match that chomped exactly the full number of characters. So that's what I did. I'm pretty happy with it, and I think that this was actually pretty elegant and clean. I saw someone posting on Twitter about some kind of fancy name for this algorithm. Honestly, I was expecting to have to memoize or something, but actually this ran relatively quickly enough, just kind of being greedily matching and indicating, like, if you failed to greedily match, that you were going to stop. All right, cool. I'm going to stop streaming. I'll see you in about 4 hours for the next Advent of Code, and now I've got some video editing work on my hands. Awesome. See you later.